One of the many, many great things about small business is the ability to focus on quality without exception. The Flying Fish Company is a perfect example of that. They say they'd never sell anything they wouldn't serve at their own dinner table. Join me as Where Small Business Grows digs deeper into the sustainable world of the Flying Fish Company.
My family has had a fish shop in my hometown over in Sandpoint, Idaho, since the year before I was born. So I've been, as a kid, growing up, packing fish and selling fish at our fish shop. The recession hit and kept trying to find a job, and there was no jobs anywhere, so I said, well, hell, what do I know how to do? I know a thing or two about fish. So I got back involved with the fish business in Utah. Started the Flying Fish Company there, ran it for a couple years, and decided that wanted to raise my family more in the Northwest rather than Utah. So we had my daughter at that point, and my wife and I moved here to Portland 3 years ago and started the fish business here. I've got a mobile truck that's my fish market on wheels, and that's what I started with here in Portland. Really had to work hard on getting people to come inside the truck, take a look at what I have, and one customer at a time. I've grown the business up to where it is today. I've got 6 employees, really covering everything for me from the retail end, and allows me to come into different opportunities like this wholesale program that I just started. I also recently got approved to sell my smoked salmon wholesale to restaurants and to markets. So that's really what I do now, is I do all the back end, the organizational for the company, and my staff and my managers run the actual retail shop. Good morning. How we doing? All right. So there we are, buddy. First case for you, cooked yesterday. We do all our orders pretty much over text. When I bring an invoice, we'll get a signature on it and take a picture of that invoice, and that's part of the accounting system. We send that picture along with the actual physical invoice to the accounting department and help to use technology in that way. So it's a different role than what it used to be. It used to be just me in a one-man truck, and I'd plug it in and pack everything and price everything, and I started realizing that if I really wanted to grow the company, I had to teach other people how to do what I do. And it was hard at first because there's so many particular methods of how you work with fish. So now my manager, he smokes all the salmon. He's in charge of the smoked salmon. He's the only one that does it. That way we maintain quality. We maintain our Department of Agriculture requirements for cooking times and temperatures and salinity and that sort of stuff. So our smoked salmon process is about a 3 or 4 day process. It's a family recipe. It soaks in a wet brine overnight. So that fish sits in the brine overnight, and then you take it out of the brine and rinse it off really good so it's not too salty. And then you rack it up in, like we had in the walk-in there. That helps to really seal in, to lacquer the top of the smoked salmon so that all the oils stay in and it stays nice and moist. As you can see, that nice red, just a wild salmon, totally natural that it's that color. There we go, wild salmon, sea salt, local raw honey, black pepper, and spices. That's all that's in it. Just natural flavor. .1. My other manager, Maria, she covers all the inventory in the shack, and we've got all the hours covered for the retail end. So it's a different role now than it used to be, but I love every bit of it. It's been fun to get out on the streets and hit up a lot of the restaurants with my wholesale program and have them come back and tell me that they already buy fish from me. So a lot of them will just come into my shop and buy products off of the shelf, and we'll give restaurants a discount for just purchasing, what I have at the retail end. But now we're really getting into the wholesale business where we're taking stuff, putting it in the truck and delivering it to them rather than having them make them come and pick it up themselves. The most difficult part for me running the business so far is really cash flow. It's difficult. As you guys saw back at the shop, I pay for my products when they come in the door. So that's my personal cash. Well, the business money that goes right out the door, right out of the gates. And then it's my responsibility to sell that fish. So it's very high risk business to be in. You got a super perishable product. You pay for it up front. The resale on it, you don't make a lot of money on it. There's not a big profit margin to be had. So it's a really difficult business, and that's really why you don't see very many fish shops around, is because it's such a difficult business to be in. Although we're growing and growing, I've had to continually invest and reinvest in the business, building out that commercial kitchen, my smoking operation, equipment, refrigeration, chest freezers, and all the supplies to run the whole operation. Being a small business owner is difficult, very rewarding as well. You're doing something that, you're working for yourself, you're pouring your entire heart into this operation, into this business, and if you do it properly, then it grows and you're making money, and there's nothing better than that. The difficult side of owning your own business is when there's something to be done, you got to do it. And there is sacrifices in the personal life that you have to take when, because the business does sort of come first. The upside is you're working for yourself. You can pour your entire heart into your operation, and you're not going to get burned by somebody else laying you off or somebody else making decisions that may affect you emotionally. That for me was the biggest thing working for other companies was, I'm a very personable guy, and I want to offer my entire heart into whatever it is that I'm doing. So when you work for yourself, you can do that, and you can get burned as well, but that's more fundamentally like setting up this business in the wrong spot or not running it properly, but at least it's not somebody else just pointing their finger at you and burning you that way. So the upside owning your own business is definitely, the fulfillment that you get by this amazing operation and supplying good quality food or whatever it is that you supply. The downside is the sacrifice that you just have to do it. Whatever it is that has to get done, you do it. Financially, there's a strain as well. When things are great, it's great, but even if you're selling $1 million worth of product, there's still going to be cash flow issues, so you still have to manage it and make sure that you're sound and not spending too much money. The other sacrifice is the late nights. We've got 2 kids now, so my daughter's about 4, my son's about 1, so we put them to bed. I get home about maybe 7 p.m. We try to get some dinner cooked up, get the kids to bed by 8:30, 9, that time frame, and then I go back downstairs and work on the computer till 11, midnight, 1 a.m. in the morning, make sure that everything's getting done. So it's late nights, often early mornings, being here, delivering by 8:30 typically, but it's all worth the while.